everyone. So I have not recorded a video in a long time. It's just been really overwhelming. So some things have happened. I'll give you just a quick update. I feel like I always just log in to make a video to give you an update, but just so you know where I am. So about a year ago, May of last year, I was laid off from my job. I had been there for 5 years, or I was going to. I would have hit 5 years like August of last year, so just short of 5 years. And they just came up to me and said They actually tried to get out of paying me any severance by accusing me of like inappropriate behavior. And when I proved them wrong, then they changed it to we're restructuring and it's at will. So we're going to release you. But I did get severance, so that's good. And the good thing about that, just as a side note, is that because I kind of knew it was coming, they laid off my entire department, which is human resources. I don't know how you do that, but they laid off the director of human resources first. And then they laid off a couple other people. Then they laid off me. And then about a month and a half later, they laid off my roommate, who had been there for 8 or 9 years. So, yeah. So it went down the tubes. Like they lost, it was medical interpreting. They lost all these hospitals. They lost as clients. So it was a mess. So anyway, since then, I've just been working for myself. And also I have 2 part-time jobs. So I work like 2 days a week at a vegan cafe here in Columbus, and I've been going there since I became vegan because it was close to my house, and I was like, I don't have to think about anything. I can go in there and order anything I want off their menu, and I'm safe. So I was friends with because back then that was when I had taken the year and went back to running the corporate office for a restaurant. So long story short, she knew that I worked for a restaurant, blah, blah, blah. So when everything came to pass with me being laid off, she offered me a job. And I was working almost 40 hours there, but I was like, I just can't do it anymore. My feet hurt too bad. I can't stand that long. Being that busy just stresses me out. So, and I'm used to being in charge. So there's a lot when you have like a family-owned restaurant that I'm like, because I'm from, corporate world, so where we, everything is made to be efficient, and we have checks and balances and all that, and so I was just going crazy. Anyway, so after all that, I also work part-time at a piercing studio, so like body piercing, ears, lobes, anything really. And I know that owner as well. We've been friends since I was like 21, I think. And so he needed a part-time counter person. And so I was like, well, I have never really sold jewelry, but I'll learn. And so I've been doing that. And I was working 3 days a week there, but now I'm down to 2 because I wanted to free up my week more to be able to work for myself, which is like food delivery and Uber and Lyft, because you make really good money. The moral of the story is if I work those, then I'm pushing more towards my old salary. I'm not as quite because, like the jewelry place doesn't pay as much, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm happy. So in other words, I've been really busy. That and the current political state of the USA is just overwhelming. I've also had to go through and unfriend a lot of people because I just don't agree with their views. And I'm not going to really get into that here, but yeah. So then now what I'm doing is, so if you can see, you can't really see it because it's so dark, but I did start wearing my jewelry again because I work at a studio, so I don't know if you can't really see it. I'll maybe add to this video here from my phone. Yeah, so I did all that. You can also see I got my nose pierced. You can probably see it in the other video, in the clip, the takeaway clip. Yeah, so that's about it. I've finished I got both my arms finished, so I don't know if you can see that. This one is more black and gray. I've got an owl. I don't know if I showed this before, but there's a fox and a rabbit, and then that's a wolf and a crow. Eyeball. And then of course this arm's been there, and that's kind of new. That one's newer. Yeah, so this necklace keeps shifting, and I notice it. I don't ever notice it when I have it on, but then people will tell me, "Hey, your tree of life is over here." Yeah, so basically that's in a nutshell what's been going on. COVID happened, and I was off work for 2 months, so I could have technically still done the contractor stuff, but because we didn't know if it was safe, nobody was driving, and there was everyone else was locked down, so there was no real business either. So I would it took like 6 weeks for me to even get my unemployment. I got approved, and it was backed up 6 weeks, but then I got a flood of it, so that was kind of cool, because that helped out. I was really starting to panic about my, because I was taking from my savings and stuff like that to keep going. So the good thing is I made it, I'm still, it's still happening, but I made it through that lockdown phase for the 2 months that we were locked down, and then I went back to work and stuff like that. But during that time, I was planning on working out at my house, like working out, and instead I played video games most of the time. So I have picked up about 20 pounds. So I'm kind of big. I'm bigger again. And now, because of the way COVID is spiking in my city, I have stopped going to the gym, and I literally kept saying I'm going to go, but then the cases kept spiking, and it was like, I don't want to go work out with a bunch of other people, even though that they have ventilation and blah, 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 but you're still like in a building, and they limit how many people can be in there, but it's still like all it takes is one, and if you're working out and you don't have your mask on, because they weren't making you wear a mask when you work out, because it's just, whatever. So I quit just recently, actually, because I was like, I'm not going to go back, and they started charging me again. Like for 3 months, they stopped charging everybody, but then they automatically kicked everyone back in when they could technically reopen up, and I just didn't think that was fair. I'm like, people, just because you're allowed to open doesn't mean people are going to be safe to go there, or are going to feel safe to go there. So I would have thought that they would have, okay, you come back in, and then we'll kick your membership back on. You know what I mean? Once you start coming in. No, they just started charging everybody again. So I finally went in there and quit that. So a couple of so that's the quick update. Almost 10 minutes long. So the upcoming thing that is really kind of cool is we have a super powerful Samhain coming. So it's a blue full moon, so we have an Esbit Sabbath, which hasn't happened since, I want to say 64. I knew the number in my head, and I just totally blanked. 74, 64. I don't forget. So that's kind of really cool. That feels like a really powerful day. And I am officiating a wedding on the 31st. And they want me to be in drag, so I have to go in character. It's vampire-y, monstery, kind of like vampire-y themed, kind of. It's outside at this all-stone amphitheater. It's so cool looking. So I was like, oh God, I haven't, and I had my beard down to here just last week, and then I cut it all off because I was like, I need to get used to not having it. So I was like, let me get rid of the bush first, and then I'll cut all this off this weekend. Which means I also need to finish writing the ritual. I have it kind of done, but I need to write it out. And they're kind of like up in the air. They're just kind of like said, okay, go. We don't care. We're not religious. Don't use that. I'm like, I wasn't going to. That's why you asked me. So, yeah. So I'm probably going to do it in a very generic way, although I might slip in some like, I thought slipping in candles. I thought about even having, it's for two, it was actually, this is kind of weird, but it was my very first boyfriend when I was 18 and his current boyfriend. So they're getting married and I'm marrying him, which is weird, but kind of cool. So I kind of thought about maybe finding out each one of their signs, you know, whether they're air, what's their elemental signs, and then maybe getting a candle to represent each, and then maybe like put a white one in the middle. So light both, have them come up when they approach me. Each of them light their own candles, and then together light the middle one, which would be white. I also got a cord, so I'm going to stand up. So you're going to see, I'm going to sweats and stuff. I got a cord, so it's just really kind of like a piece of lace, but it's thicker. And so I figured for like a hand fasting, they're going to exchange rings. But I thought while they're holding the hands, I could wrap the cord around their hands. You know what I mean? Loop it around so that they're joined. So it's kind of like a hand fast ring exchange. So I can kind of slide in a little more crafty stuff. And then I got this. So because I have to be a vampire-y kind of thing, I was like, what am I going to wear? So this, I have to be in drag. I'm sorry, my camera, I should probably angle it up a little bit. So this is a hoop skirt. So it does that. See it? Basically, okay? And then over top, I got this, which is like a button-up Victorian dress. And it's got like ruffles. That's the back. I know it's really hard to see because it's dark in here and it's black. But basically it balloons out with the hoop skirt on. And I was thinking I was going to pull something like tighter so I looked kind of professional McGonagall-y, you know what I mean, like tight hair. But then I thought, no, it's drag. So I'm probably going to wear big, huge hair. Yeah. And then I have to leave that. So, cool, huh? Putting this away. Yeah. So, doing that. Oh, I also got I can't decide if I'm going to wear it over top of it or not, but this is a new priest robe, like reverend kind of robe. And it almost looks like a judge or a reminds me of like judge or teacher, like a professor. Like, so it looks like kind of like Professor Snape's robe. But I have this to put over it as well. The cuffs are tight, and then it's got these ballooned like sleeves. It's really kind of cool. So I don't know if I'm going to wear this over top of that dress. I think it would hide some of the effect of the dress. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of weird that, not weird. I wouldn't really want to to do it in drag, but I think they want it because they want it to be married by a drag queen, you know, that kind of novelty kind of thing. So I was like, I'll do it, you know, whatever. And so I'm doing that on Saturday. And that's at 3:30 in the afternoon. So kind of early. Hopefully it's not raining. If it is, I don't know what they're going to do because, I can't hang out in the rain. That's not going to happen. Not in drag anyway. I need to find out though, because if I think they'll move it. I don't know where they'll move it to. But I can't stand, not with all that hair, like I would, you know, that's hairspray. I would be like a drowned rat and it would smell and like hairspray. Ugh. Yeah. So what have you? So that's that. But other than that, then I'm planning on, my roommate is doing a show that night as well, but he's performing at a club and their show's early. It's like at 6:00. So I'll probably be done with the ceremony. I would probably say it would take maybe an hour, if that. It's going to be quick. And then they want us to come over and like for the reception at their house in their backyard, because we're still also socially distancing and wearing masks and whatever. I said when we do the actual ceremony, I'm going to remove my mask, and because I'm going to be further back from them, and so I can broadcast my voice and people can hear me. And then when they come together and I have to go forward to do the cord or whatever, I'll pull it up. And they gave me a special mask that looked like vampire teeth, so it was like kind of funny. So I can do that. Yeah. So that's that. And then I'm probably going to come home and hold ritual here at my house for me, because I think that, first of all, there are some ancestors that I want to speak with, and I want to pay homage to the Sabbath and the Esbit as well. It's going to be a powerful day, and I want to have me time as well as their time. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know if I'll go to the show at the club, only because that's a long way away. And unless I can, like, I can get away with wearing flat shoes in my dress so that I'm not stacked up on heels, because if I'm not used to it, it's, you know, I don't perform as much as I like once or twice a year. So, and I used to do it 6 days a week when I was young, you know, like 10, 20, 15 years ago. So it's like, you know, night and day now. I can't, my ankles don't like it. My feet hate it. So I'm going to, I'm looking over at my shoes going, I wonder what shoes I could wear. I could wear something like black tennis shoes. Or I have these black Skechers that have like max cushion foam. They're like, the top part's almost like elastic, so they slip on, and they kind of look like tennis shoes. I could wear those technically because the dress will hit right on the ground. It'll sweep the ground, so it won't be able to see them. But at the same time, I don't know. It's like I don't want anyone to see them. That's why I would wear heels. I could technically wear my boots. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, so that's it in a nutshell. I know I've been running on for 20 minutes now, but I just wanted to touch base and see how everyone was and tell you how I've been and what's been going on. As a side note, like I touched on earlier, I don't really want to get into the politics part, but I am having over amounts of anxiety, and I'm not someone that usually lets that control me, but like I've been having nightmares and things about what happens on November 3rd or, you know, there soon after. And I totally picture The Handmaid's Tale If you haven't watched that film, that series, I should say, it's scary. Watch it. It's on Hulu. Um, it's literally what's kind of happening right now. So I'm thinking, I might, after that day, I might end up as a political refugee in a different country because, is it going to be illegal for me to be gay? You know what I mean? And are they going to come after me? And, that's the kind of scary shit that happens. I think the majority of the population is not like that, so they would have a hard time, but still, I just don't know. I don't want to put anything past anybody. So anyway, I will let you go, and then hopefully I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Bless me.